All right, I am here with Elizabeth Thompson, and we are going to be talking about Vision of Mars 2 by Alexei Vilov. And Elizabeth, how does the piece make you feel?
The piece is a very compelling piece. It makes me feel mostly aggressive, and you could say maybe even angry. It is a dark piece. Most of the colors are very dark. It uses a lot of reds and even some greens in it. And the color symbolism of red and green are two very interesting colors. They're both kind of double-sided, both with positive and negative elements. Green can represent fertility, life, and rebirth, which I think really goes with this piece. There's three figures in the piece. One is a scary, crazy-looking woman that is holding another woman by the arms around the wrists. She has a very intense expression on her face. It's almost as if she is yelling or like screaming in joy or pain. Maybe she has her mouth open. It's an intense piece.
Would you say that the way she's standing, what does it look like? She's scared to be taken away by the older lady, or what is her expression towards?
She looks really like she's just given up. She doesn't appear to be struggling against the older woman that has taken her captive, in a sense. But her face is also rather expressionless. It's hard to gather what her thoughts are from her expression.
Then the person on the other side, the woman that is dressed, how does she kind of fit into the whole scene of the picture?
It's really sort of interesting. It appears as if they're almost two separate paintings. The two figures on one side, the woman being captured, so to speak, by the other woman, and is very contrasting to the other side, where it's a woman standing in contemplation, and she looks as if she's in like Victorian dress. She has a very long skirt on, and she holds her head down. She has no facial features, which is interesting. This maybe symbolizes oppression. It also, you get a sense of guilt or shame from the other woman.
And where in the painting do you think the artist really wants you to look first? Is there a key spot that he puts in the painting?
The eye is definitely drawn towards the upper right-hand corner of the painting, where it is the lightest, the lightest place in the painting. Another focal point is the crazy older woman's face. It is also light value in there, but it appears the light source is from the upper right-hand corner of the piece.
And going back to the colors, do you think it's kind of representing Mars, the planet, or like a mythological person? Or, what do you think he was thinking whenever he used those colors?
I think he was more talking about the symbolism attached to the goddess or the god Mars in Roman culture, which he was the god of war, and as I said, it's a very aggressive and angry piece with the vibrant reds of it. Also, it's interesting to note that the consort of Mars, or his wife, was Nerine or Minerva, which kind of represents manly valor, which as a life force and power and majesty. So that is interesting to note.
And what techniques do you think the artists use, with the lines? Are they flowing? Are they jagged? Can you explain that a little more?
The lines are very soft and kind of wiggle through space of the canvas, almost like the hair of the figure that's being captured from the old woman and the hair of the old woman are all intertwined in the lines of the piece.
I agree. And I mean, me looking at the picture, I kind of got a sexual vibe from it. I mean, did you get that vibe or?
It is. It definitely speaks of like oppressing women's sexuality, but it does have overtones of a sexual nature that are, again, just very aggressive and kind of in your face, but subtle at the same time.
I agree. I agree. I mean, is there anything else that you would like to add about the picture?
I would say the balance of the picture is asymmetrical. Like I said, the right side is definitely heavier than the left side with the two figures on the right side, and they are shown more clearly and have a lot more detail in them, and they are bigger than the figure on the right side, who again is more muted and a lot less detail. And it appears to me like the singular woman on the left side is almost thinking of the scene that's happening in the other half of the picture.
So do you think they're like the woman being captured is maybe the same person, or do you think those are different people, or?
It's an interesting question. The woman that is clothed has dark hair, while the other woman has a vibrant red hair, and she's naked, which makes me think of like being vulnerable. So maybe that is like a inwards personification of the other woman.
I think I'm just stuck on why one of them is nude and one of them isn't, and it could just be, she's having a flashback or, thinking of how she really is, and she's two-sided personalities. I mean, is that what you think, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think definitely the nudity is very symbolic of just like letting yourself go and letting your emotions come through truthfully rather than being veiled or clothed.
And then the older woman's facial expression, it's kind of creepy. I mean, what do you think the artist was trying to?
Yes, the biggest element in the painting is definitely the creepy older woman's face, as we have dubbed it. She has large eyes that are really projecting from her head and very open. And she, I think, kind of symbolizes like everyone's own insanity, and then the naked woman that she's holding is being swept away by her own thoughts and her own insanity, and is held captive by herself.
All right, Elizabeth, that's all I got for you.
Well, thank you, Kelsey.
Thank you for coming and talking about this amazing art piece. And
thank you for having me.